Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards and me, Gary Lineker. No Alan Shearer today. He's off on his travels. Are you happy about that? We'll hear from him tomorrow. England's second group game is coming up, so he's there for that, which we'll be bringing you live, of course, on the BBC later today. But first, we really want to focus on Wednesday's action. Mike, you've actually had a day off today. I was doing the earlier game. I did Germany-Hungary.
Yes.
But we had lunch together in
Soho House.
Soho House in Berlin, and everybody was there. And I was having lunch, and it looked like being a really, really fun day. All sorts of people, BBC people, ITV people, were all in the same. And I was drinking water and had to head off to go and do Germany against Hungary, which was actually quite a good game. But I was a little bit envious.
You was a bit jealous, wasn't you?
I was, yeah.
So it started perfect day for me. I went to the gym, total fitness with Jolien Lescott and Joe Hart, two old teammates. Went back to the hotel, got changed, spoke to one of the editors, Rich Hughes, about obviously the England game coming up. And then we went to Soho House. And the feeling when you get in there, because you know when you come to these places, you don't know what's what, don't you? But
it's
you
like
know
a little bit of England in Germany, isn't it?
Yes,
in a way.
Yes, it's like a community, isn't it?
It is.
But when you know you're going to Soho House, you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And
I had to leave at about 2:30, so I had to go back to the hotel, change, and I was thinking, because I left you with Jolien Lescott and Harry over there.
Harry was there.
Harry was there.
And let's just say it got interesting. It got very interesting.
I'm sure. Who was there? Who else was there? Because
So-
I saw, it's funny, I was texting someone and someone texted me about, Roy Keane knows something about Sir Roy Keane. And as they text me, he walked in. It was like, oh my God,
Weird.
That's the weirdest thing ever. And we had a chat. I mean, people think Roy Keane, they go, he's scary, and all that. And obviously he had a reputation when he played. But every time I've met Roy, he's a delightful guy.
He's
and you
sweet,
just think
isn't he?
to yourself, I wonder whether Roy Keane plays Roy Keane really well.
It's just when he's watching his team, he just gets frustrated.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, Man United.
Don't we
obviously.
all with our own team?
Exactly that. So on the bottom floor,
Yeah.
I bumped into Gary Neville,
Yeah.
Karen Carney,
Yeah.
Ian Wright.
Righty was there.
Righty
I
was
missed.
there.
I
You
haven't
missed
seen
Righty.
Righty yet since I've been here. I desperately want to see. I love Righty. I think he's one of my most favourite people in the world.
Everyone loves him, don't
Yeah.
they?
Well,
You can't
Yeah.
hate Righty.
Yeah, no.
And then we bumped into Ashley Williams,
Ash.
Danny Murphy, Dion Dublin,
Oh,
and it just the day went
Moved
very
into the
quick.
night.
It went-
And you're here though,
let's
Mike.
just say
You've turned up.
I always turn up.
Yeah.
Not a problem
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
What was we having, H? What were they called?
Picante.
It's a famous drink of Soho House.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm more of a Negroni man.
I started on the Groanies.
I really did fancy a Negroni you can't be drinking Negronis before you go on air.
Imagine that.
I need to talk about Scotland.
Amazing.
We've just watched the game. I honestly thought that they'd really struggle today because I thought Switzerland were really good in the opening game. We know that the Scots don't really want England to do well, and I get why. That's obvious, But I don't think English people feel the same way. I think some players do when you're playing against, and it's a bit banter. There's banter and all that stuff. But I genuinely like Scotland to do well. Do you?
Yeah, I do like it. Well, yeah. I'm with you on that.
And we've all got friends that are Scottish and all that. And I was really, really chuffed that not only did they play well, and they got a result that gives them a chance of qualifying. They're going to have to win the last game against Hungary, but if they play like that, they're going to have a real chance.
You know what?
They were so
It was
good.
just a reaction because the first game against Germany, it was everything that could have went wrong on the night went wrong.
They didn't perform at all.
They looked a bit nervous, didn't really have a tactical plan, it seemed. And when I say a tactical plan, every manager's got a tactical plan, but it didn't look like that on the day. They were just outplayed by a great Germany side. And then you're always looking, how are they going to react in the next game? And they did. They was on the front foot. They was aggressive. They won the tackles. The passing was better. There was a passing move in the game where they made about 5 passes, but quick, sharp passes, and was able to get out. They got the goal. McTominay has been brilliant in qualifying, and to get a goal, although it was a lucky deflection, but it was on target.
Yeah.
So he still gets the
I'm
goal.
glad they gave him the goal. Because I don't understand this thing that... I mean, you can see why people could construe it as an own goal, because actually it was going straight in the keeper's hands, and it wasn't a deflection. It was actually a mistimed clearance.
Yes.
But he doesn't want to be given it as an own goal. And Tomini really wants it as a goal.
Yeah.
So why would anyone take that away from him? I think officially he's got it, hasn't he?
Officially now.
Yeah.
It took him a while in commentary.
Good.
It said
Good.
they changed it.
Because he deserves it. And he's actually got a knack. I think he's better as that kind of player that arrives in the midfield player that arrives in the box. I think that's his strength.
Yeah, well, he's played in forward positions, even for Man United, like false nine, and then even for Scotland. But I prefer him when he can time his run into the box. Yeah. That's when he's at his best. He works really hard, gets a lot of goals. Yeah. And I was just buzzing for Scotland because I was travelling with the fans.
There's so many of them here.
There's so many.
They're everywhere.
Tactically as well, I think
much better.
But John McGinn's position as well, he was sort of
I'm going to give you a little bit of credit.
Go on.
Because you said Billy Gilmour has to come in.
He has to come in.
I mean, I was surprised he didn't play in the first game because he keeps the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And they couldn't keep the ball in the first game.
The only thing is, though, against the German side, are you going to keep the ball? So I couldn't...
You've got to try, Micah. You've got to try because
you have to.
If you're that deep, you've got to try and keep the ball. Otherwise, you never get out.
You're not going to get out.
But anyway, he played. I thought he did really well.
He did very well. Altered McGinn's position. McGinn was playing really close to Che Adams and then going to the left. I just thought they got it tactically right.
I thought in the second half they were the better team.
They were. And it could have went... Even they both had chances to win it. But I felt proud. Obviously, I played with... John McGinn at Aston Villa.
Yeah, you love John.
And I just like his attitude. He's got banter. He cares about people. Top guy. So I want to see him do well. Yeah. And he had a great game.
Yeah, I was mainly most pleased for all the travelling fans just to get something. Even if they don't go through, they've got something. But I think they've got a chance. They've now got a chance because Hungary have lost 2 games. Yeah. It's going to be difficult, but they're still in it as well now.
Hungary have let me down a little bit, though.
You were one of many people, I think, that said a bit of a dark horse.
Szoboszlai, it was the one. And he's playing all right.
He was really good in the first half.
He was playing all right, but it's just they're not getting over the line. They're just not getting over the line.
The free kick was unlucky.
Yeah, it was unlucky. But I thought more. I thought Hungary was going to give us a little bit more, but... Let's see in the last game against Scotland.
All to play for Scotland. Who impressed you apart from John McGinn?
I'm going to say Angus Gunn, the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I think after conceding that many goals against Germany, conceding 5 goals, and he'll look back at that and think he could have done better with a couple of them. And then to have the bravery to come out, and he had made 1 save, he got down, and then he just lifted up his left arm at the right time. I just thought it was brilliant goal. I heard Joe Hart talking about it as well, the tactical bit of it as well, and the technical bit. So, I thought he had a very good game today.
And we mentioned Billy Gilmour already. Do you know the actor Barry Keoghan? Really brilliant actor. He was in Saltburn and one.
I have seen Saltburn. Which one is it?
He's the one. He's the lead. He's the lead in it.
Oh,
he's a fantastic actor. Do you not think he looks like Billy Gilmour?
Oh my God!
Do you not
He's
think?
got a look.
I was looking. He was interviewed after the game. They cut to Billy Gilmour. I went, "That's Barry Keoghan, huh?" I mean, I don't know whether anyone else would think that, but
that's a good shout, actually.
Yeah, it's not. It is.
It is. I think, watch Saltburn. Yeah.
Tierney looks serious, doesn't it?
The way he went down, it was. I couldn't quite work out
if
it was
couldn't.
Hamstring, knee, ankle, and then stretch it.
When you stretch it off, it's
you know what? I feel sorry for Tierney because when he was up in Scotland at Celtic, he was immense.
I really liked him.
Everyone was talking about he's better than Andy Robertson. Yeah. He comes down, he plays for Arsenal, does all right, gets injured. They obviously bring in another left back. It goes to Sociedad, not really worked out the way. Obviously playing as a free at the back for Scotland, does it really well. And then just as he gets his form going, that was a really good game. It gets
injuries are brutal. I mean, sometimes I think fans, we're all guilty of this sometimes, and you see a player and he gets injured a lot, and you go, "Oh, he's always injured him." I don't think they really understand how horrible it is for a player to be injured. and not being able to participate. I mean, you had serious injuries. You had injuries and you're out the game. I was lucky. I didn't have them until the very end. But missing a game.
When the word comes, oh, he was a good player, but he was injury prone. I feel like punching him in the face. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not trying to get injured. I'm an all-action defender. Yeah. That's what happens. But yeah, I really did feel for him. Yeah. I really did. I hope it's not as bad as it looked.
I felt for Ralston when he made that mistake. I mean, there were a couple of mistakes within that, but it was almost like it was a move to knock him through Shaqiri. But what a finish, by the way!
What a finish!
He does produce. Remember that kind of scissor kick thing? Was it 2016 against Poland? I think I remember
exactly when it was. Yeah. He scores some amazing. I thought his career was almost done.
I think he's been playing for about 78 years now.
But the technique.
Maybe he only plays in major championships.
But he plays, how much is that, 7 now? And scored in 6 of them?
Yeah, I know.
That is
remarkable.
Can you talk me through the finish though? What made that finish so good?
Do you think I could finish like that?
You must be able to finish like that.
Never hit one like that in my life. I'm never that far out.
You never hit one like that?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Not even
so.
one. It just.
Do you know what? I only scored 1 goal in my career that was from outside. Well, that's not true. I scored other goals from outside the box, but there'd be a one-on-one with the keeper, and I'd dink it over him or something like that. I think there was one at Wembley where I dinked a keeper, but I was like just outside the box. But to score a proper goal, top bins as they call it, from outside the box, there's only one in my whole career. One in my whole career out of 300 odd whatever it was goals, and that was at Old Trafford, and it was for Tottenham, and we won 1-0. And I cut in from I was on the left-hand side, and I cut in onto my right foot, and I whipped it into the top corner from, it felt like 30 yards, but when I've seen it back, because it is available, you can find it. It's actually about 20, but it was the only one that I ever did like that in my career. And my celebration, normally I just go off and shit. I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran and I must have done the longest run. I was exhausted after it, but it was amazing feeling. But yeah,
but hold on.
Yeah.
So you're telling me Big Meeks has got the same record outside the box than the great Gary Lineker. Mm-hmm. What a damning stat that is for you.
I don't know. I take it as a compliment. I've admired your game for so long, especially your podcast game and your punditry game.
The punditry game.
You talk a great game, Micah. We've got a new segment in the show that we're going to be doing at various points throughout the tournament. Whilst we're out in Germany enjoying UEFA Euro 2024, we'll be discussing who is upping their game, Micah. From teams to players to fans, all brought to you by Hellmann's, the official barbecue partner of UEFA Euro 2024. So then, Micah, now that every team has played at least once, who has caught your eye?
Well, I'm the barbecue king. I'm the barbecue king.
So you're going to talk about yourself up in there?
No, not myself. No. I've got to go with Turkey's fans. Against Georgia.
Oh, what a game. Do you think that was the best game?
That was the best game, and I was doing it.
Yeah, and who would have thought Turkey-Georgia would be the best game? You wouldn't think that, would you?
You'd probably think there's going to be goals in it, but you wouldn't think it'd be the best game, end-to-end game. But yeah, that's definitely, they definitely upped the game.
What about Slovakia beating Belgium?
Ooh, I actually missed that game because I was travelling.
Belgium ranked 3rd in the world. I'm not sure about how the rankings, I'm not sure they're that great. But Slovakia were ranked, 48th? I think that's the biggest shock.
Wow, yeah.
It may be even more than Romania beating Ukraine. I mean, 3-0 as well. The first victory they've had at the Euros since, 24 years? And they're 24 places below Ukraine in the world rankings. Individually, who's up their game? I mean, you could say Bellingham, but his game's so good anyway. I'm not sure how you up it.
Yeah, his game's too high.
Yeah, amazing. Musiala,
Oof.
I mean, we know he's an incredible talent, but boy, oh boy, he's sharp.
He's sharp.
Sharp. He's magical.
But you know really what? I'm going to go.
Top scorer in the tournament.
With 2 goals?
With 2 goals.
2 goals?
Yeah.
2 games, 2 goals. I'm going to go Mark Gay.
Great shout.
Because Crystal Palace obviously just come onto the scene where could he handle the pressure of playing for England? He's upped his game.
Especially after being out for quite a long time with injury. And he's come back. I loved his interview post-match. He was so kind of humble. So humble.
Opposite of me.
What a good guy.
He's the opposite.
I don't know. You can play the humble card when you want. Okay, well, this barbecue season, you can up your game with Hellman's. Have you got a plan? Analysis plan?
Yeah, I have got a plan. There's various things we can show. Obviously, we're limited to time. But it's more
we've
about...
got a big build-up. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of, you don't just want to fill it with whole analysis. You want people to enjoy the show. You want some analysis, some fun,
just get the mixture
some opinion, some insight, and all that sort of thing. But it's more about Phil Foden's position when he's playing for Man City.
Do you think he'll play?
I don't know if he will. If he does play, I'm going to show it. To be honest, I'm going to show it regardless and say this is probably what he can do, because the clips I've got is him sort of being in that left position for Man City, but having players around him that want to link off him, running off him, and this is what he can deliver. In the England game, he was getting into these positions, he wasn't getting the ball. So it's about him now demanding and having that personality to say, give me the ball. This is what I can do. So
we'll talk about England in a few minutes, but I want to talk about Germany. Host nation, of course. I mean, a few months ago, people had written off Germany. They got some terrible results. I think they lost at home in a friendly against Japan, about 4-1. Nagelsmann obviously had come in, but they were struggling. But they've had a good few results before the start of the tournament. You could see something. I think tactically, Nagelsmann's smart. They had a brilliant result against Scotland, of course. High press, great energy. And yesterday they played against Hungary. It was a game I did. I was doing that particular match, and I thought, even though they played well again, they won 2-0. I think they were really good going forward again, and passing around, Musiala was sharp again, and some good performances. But I think you could just see, a little bit of a weakness defensively on the counter attack. Possibly Kimmich going forward, and they were, a bit exposed behind.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But that's a team who commit players forward, so you're going to be vulnerable to that. I would rather see that and be able to work on them deficiency by trying to get the ball forward as soon as possible.
Totally
and
agree with you.
Flooding people forward, because the other bit you can sort that out.
It's good to watch, and the high press is really
But
good.
it's just confidence as well. Yeah. If you've scored 7 goals in 2 games, you can you know you're going to get a goal in a game with the quality that they have. Yeah. So the defensive bit you can sort of work on as a tournament.
I thought Hungary played all right, though.
Yeah, they did play all right.
They'd had chances, they had a go. They've not got the quality that Germany have got, of course. And it's going to be like a shootout with Scotland.
No, Germany, just going back to that, I think they could win the tournament. But before it was, they've got good players. How are they going to? The balance of the team looks good to me.
Yeah,
I think, and it's in Germany.
The interesting thing of when they play like a big nation. The other thing I've been impressed with is I know he's not scored much lately, and I don't think he's ever going to be like prolific. But Havertz, I think he's turned himself from a false 9 into a 9. And I think he's done that. Nagelsmann has played him and he's told him to play high. And I think that's what we need to do with Harry Kane. I think he did it in the first half of the first game, but we'll come to that shortly. But I think Havertz is impressive at the 9, and he will try and run behind, which is really important, really important. But he can also hold it up. He's got a really good touch. And I think he's coming. I think we've found his position. I think for years we've been going, I'm not sure what he is. Is he a 10? Is he an 8? Is he wide? Is he a false 9? I think he's a 9.
Isn't just intelligent.
Exactly, and his movement's really good.
That his timing of his runs is impeccable.
Yeah,
they've got a chance. Because
of course they've got. Germany have always got a chance. But in recent times, in major tournaments, I mean, the last 2 was, the World Cup, they never got through the group stage, which is
I always base a team on their midfield. When you've got Andrzej from Leverkusen, you got Tony Cruz, and you've got Gundogan.
Verts.
Musiala. Havertz.
They've
got. No, everyone's talking about Portugal's attack. Everyone's talking about England's attack. Everyone's talking about France's attack. But Germany's attack in terms of balance is as good as any of them.
Which is really important, isn't it?
Of course, balance of the team.
Tactically, Nagelsmann is a very aggressive, positive, forward-thinking coach. And a team ends up being a reflection of their manager and their coach, and there's no doubt about that. The argument always is, can a team that's expansive win a major tournament, or do you need to be pragmatic to win a major tournament? And I think that's always been like kind of Southgate's possibly way of thinking. But I think the game has evolved and changed. I think we've moved on from that kind of Mourinho phase where, you get ahead and then you hold it. And it's a different game now. You look at the great teams in the Premier League. Manchester City, obviously. High press all the time. High press. Win it back high up the pitch because you haven't got so far to go. Liverpool, dynamic, high press. Arsenal, high press. And all our players are playing that way. I know I want to come on to England shortly, and I think Germany play that way, and their whole league is dynamic anyway. That's the way they play. And we've seen Leverkusen this season, incredible success.
Dortmund
got to the final of the Champions League. Even Bayern Munich didn't win the league. So people talk about, well, they haven't got the strength in depth in that league. Well, I'm not so sure that's true. So I think, and also most importantly for me is that high intensity, high press football is the most exciting thing to watch.
Yeah.
You don't want to see teams just knocking it about across the back four and waiting and getting a goal.
But that's for us though, isn't it? As managers, you're always a little bit.
I get that.
So we want to see great football, and we like Germany now because they're playing top football. And if I was a coach, I would, but you never know.
No. Yeah, it's easy to talk. It's easy to talk. But Musiala now, top scorer in the tournament, by the way. He's in the lead in the race for the Golden Boot. There's 42 goals scored, and only one person has scored 2, and that's it's quite unusual because there's normally a few players scored 2 goals in the first because they always you think, his odds reduce for the Golden Boot, but Musiala's the only one so far, and obviously not that many teams yet have played 2 games.
2 games, yeah.
So
it was expected. I've been raving about Musiala for the past year. Nothing that he does surprises me.
And the important thing, of course, is stepping up on the biggest stage and international tournaments. It's as big as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah. The young players now, Gula, fearless. Yeah. Musiala, fearless.
Yeah. Gula scored that wonderful goal. Amazing goal, wasn't it? And then he plays for Real Madrid, of course.
Real Madrid.
He's not yet playing for Real Madrid, really, but I think he might at some point.
Yeah, well, he played the last couple of games.
He did.
Scored.
Yeah.
But in the future, he's there.
Yeah. But there was a player on the pitch today that's been around for a while that I thought was brilliant again, and he scored. Gundogan. What a footballer! What an intelligent footballer!
I was so sad to see him leave Man City, and he left on a free as well.
Yeah.
I actually think he's better with a free, like arriving into the box as well. Because a lot of people had him as a 6, dictating the play, but when he can make them runs into the box, he can do everything, can't he? He can do absolutely everything, and he's a master.
Yeah. He's such a good ball. He's such a good footballer.
He's got everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
Oh, he really has. Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about England, as we generally do. England, Denmark. England got 3 points in the bag. It looks like the team that finished second will play the winners of Germany's group, which is going to be Germany. So, Germany are already through. You don't want to be second.
No, you don't.
Got to win the group. Now, I would say, having won the first game, in all likelihood, if you draw against Denmark, the last game against Slovenia, you would fancy your chances. You don't want to be second.
You don't. We
We don't want England, Germany. Not in the last 16.
No, we're being positive.
Although 3 years ago, not 4 years ago, obviously because of the delay, England beat Germany in the last 16, didn't they?
Yes.
But that was at Wembley.
At Wembley,
Yeah.
I was there. It was
And
brilliant.
I think Germany have improved somewhat since then.
Agreed.
But I also think England have got better players or more mature players as well than they had 3 years ago. But we don't want that one.
We don't want to talk about them.
No, not yet. No, we don't want that one at all. So England need to win the group.
Yes.
And
I think they will.
Do you think he'll change anything?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Phil Foden situation.
Do you think he'll give him a go at 10? Or do you think...
No,
I don't.
I don't. He was the one who took responsibility and had the personality, so you're probably not going to move him. You know, he might stay. He might stay with Foden on left. He might just change Trent for a defensive, more like a Gallagher or a Mainu, because Denmark can hurt you. Set pieces they can hurt you.
But when you've got a group of players that incredible talent that can keep the ball and pass the ball and stuff, and I absolutely respect Gallagher. He's he works hard, he runs, he presses, he's great at that sort of stuff. But he's not at that level in terms of with the ball.
No,
he's not. So,
he admitted that in an interview himself.
No, well, he's not, but he's got an unbelievably good attitude. But I always think if you've got players that have high technical ability that keep the ball, you've all got to be able to do it. So I've got no problem with Gallagher as a player. I think he's admirable.
Yeah, but we don't do it though. That's we did it for 30 minutes the first half of the Serbia game, and in the second half we've got all them technical players. All them technical players were on the pitch, and we still wasn't keeping. That was my frustration. Yeah. So,
but why?
I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if it's because we dropped deep. I don't know if protecting what you had.
Because we dropped deep,
of course.
And all of a sudden I don't know where that came from. But it's happened frequently with England. You could go to the final against Italy for 20 minutes, half an hour, again, dominate, got ahead. And then all of a sudden, subconsciously or whatever it is, whether it's tactically, Mourinho-esque tactics, if you like, of all of a sudden, right, we've got a lead, let's protect it. Even if it's subconscious, they've got to get out of that.
I think
they've got it.
I think we're going to see a different England.
I do as well.
I think we're going to see.
I don't think you read
England
too much into the first game.
No, I don't.
No.
I think it was just frustrating because we expected so much. Yeah. They've got the first one out of the way now. I think we're going to see a different England side.
I'd love to see England play like most of our players play in the Premier League.
Agreed.
Which is a dynamic, high energy, high intensity, high press. And just outscore teams. I mean, that's me. I'm a forward, Gareth's a defender, and I don't think he sees it that way. I think he thinks he's got to be pragmatic. We shall see. But I love it when we press really high. I know they have the players to do that. I think Harry Kane is not really that kind of player, but if you tell him to do that,
he will give you 70 minutes doing it.
He'll do that, and then you can change it, and you can, if he's tired, you can bring on. Watkins, who's unbelievably energetic, can definitely press, and he can spin behind, which Harry doesn't really do.
Yeah.
But it's good to have those options. So I think it'd be interesting to see how he approaches the game. Again, they've got 3 points in the bag, but you don't want to finish second. You don't want to play the host nation in the last 16. So.
No, I'm positive. I think
I think England have got great players. And also, we're all guilty of this when it's your own country. You always fear the worst, see the worst, and rather than see what you've got, and you forget what you've really got. Because, especially in a game like, it was a weird game.
That's why it was just flat, wasn't it?
Well, it was good at the start. But
flat.
Even at the start when they were keeping it high, they weren't creating anything. But they were playing against a team that was awkward. Big, strong, aggressive, in their faces, and they were keeping the ball, but they weren't creating that much. But I think they'll have. I think and hope that they'll have a real go against Denmark. But Denmark are not bad,
Now, when we're doing our podcast tomorrow, we'll be saying we're proud of our boys. It's going to be a reaction like Scotland.
But England won the first game, so
Performance, though.
Yeah.
Performance.
I agree.
We're judging England to a higher standard than Scotland because they have better players.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
We'll see. Let's be positive, eh?
We're positive.
We're positive. Okay. That's all for today's episode of The Rest is Football. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget England versus Denmark. BBC One later today. Micah Richards will be on. Rio Ferdinand will be on. Thomas Frank's with us. He's great, isn't he?
He's a character.
He's a lovely guy.
He's a lovely,
really,
person.
He gets the game. He gets his enthusiasm comes through, doesn't it? But he's Danish.
So he's
Yeah.
he's our enemy.
He's not.
Well, the game's on, he is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's hope he gets his bacon. Anyway, we're on air from 4 p.m. Alan is doing co-coms with Guy Mowbray in Frankfurt. We look forward to you joining us then, and we'll be back tomorrow to review what we all hope will be 3 points for England that sees them through to the knockout stages. Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.